That was the wrong intro. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the cNFTnews. I'm your host, Scott Chestnut, coming at you live from Rare Bloom. Kind of. Of course, we are situated in a virtual sort of box at Rare Bloom. I promise we're there, but we're in a little computer screen, and the interview guests are coming to us instead of the opposite, as it was at cNFTCon. We're coming in day 2 of our Rare Bloom interviews here. And oh man, yesterday we went for 2.5 hours. It was amazing. But today we're going to keep it a little shorter. And I think we're about ready with our first guest here. So if I'm not mistaken, we'll be talking with Kamir from NewNet. Let's see how right I am with our scheduling. I'm going to play on our special guest intro, and then we'll get started with this interview. Hey, what's up? Welcome. All right, let's get a sound check. Can we hear you?
Yeah, okay, hi.
It's a little muffled, I wonder. Let me turn you up.
So what do I do?
There we go. I'm just messing with it on my end. Thank you for sitting down with us. Oh, this is so fun. How's Rare Bloom going?
Excellent.
Yeah? Well, I'm really glad to hear that.
Good energy.
All right, throw the audio. There we go. Yeah, so is it Kamir, yes?
Kabir.
Okay, great. So tell me what you're working on out here. I'm not aware of your project.
I'm a co-founder, CEO, and lead conceptual architect of NewNet, which is a spin-off of Singularity.net ecosystem. And we are almost 1 year old, and we're building a decentralized computing platform, what we call a global economy of decentralized computing.
So you guys have been around. You've been kicking for about a year. That's cool. What kind of
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do.
I just want to know more.
Right. So, yeah. Before that, I was part of Singularity.net, and I was doing research on pretty much synthetic cognitive development of decentralized computing systems. And we have 3 co-founders. So one of them is Ben Gersel, which is CEO of Singularity.net.
Yeah, we had a great time chatting with him yesterday. I'm glad that we got you today.
Yeah, thanks for that. And then another co-founder is D.R. Weinbaum, and he's an author and he's a creator of open-ended intelligence concept, which we hope to try to implement in certain aspects. And basically, NewNet is what we call, in terms of with relation to Singularity.net, is infrastructure arm of Singularity.net. So what we want to do, we combine computing power from individual computers around the world into a single decentralized cloud, where we can sort of put a decentralized AI also on decentralized hardware, and we can monetize that. People can monetize their hardware by exposing them to the network and basically declaring the price and the preferences and capabilities of the hardware, and then AI agents or any software will be able to choose what kind of hardware they can run, and basically pay for that directly through the machine-to-machine interface. So that is the framework that we're building.
So you choose to hook up your machine to this network, and then if your machine was used, you'd be compensated for that.
Right. So it's a marketplace. So we do not guarantee, but basically people will offer their machines depending on what kind of power they have, what kind of prices, what kind of internet connections they have. Algorithms themselves will be able to choose on which machine to run, and yes, they will be compensated directly and exactly for the amount of computing that they were able to contribute to the platform.
That's really cool. What
So
kind of a
that's why we call it global economy of decentralized computing. So the economic
no doubt.
side is as important as all the computational part of it.
Yeah. What kind of compensation, like what form would that be? Would that be cryptocurrency?
Yes, we have our utility token launched 11 months ago, actually. So all the settling of transactions and negotiations, because also all these companies will be able to negotiate prices and times, etc. All these settlements will be done, transactions will be done on this NTX, the native utility token of Nunet platform. Of course, we'll have bridges between the other crypto space, right?
Yeah.
Other tokens, other platforms, because we are trying to also integrate different platforms, let's say storage platforms for storing, maybe other computational platforms which provide decentralized computation, and then we'll have to bridge tokens. But the main the main token for settlement is Nunet NTX.
Right. That's really interesting. So, what do you imagine that this network will be used for mostly?
So actually, this is something. Well, we have identified certain use case classes, let's say.
Yeah.
But the way we are going, we are kind of we're trying to ask community and invite people to come on board as early as possible to pull all the, let's say, interest and requirements from the community. The way we're building the platform is that we are prioritizing our features that we're building based on those use case integrations. So that we can we can do certain, we can start already practical usages of the platform without having full platform features developed, because it's huge and it's complex.
Yeah, you want to get it rolling at least.
So it doesn't make it less complex technologically. It makes it probably more complex from the management side, because we have to manage a lot of interests and so forth. And the roadmap is always changing. So that is a kind of it's not exactly an issue. It's an aspect that we have very broad features that we identified in the roadmap. Mm-hmm. But what concretely we will do depends on how we connect, to what kind of size of community we connect, what kind of interest we find, what kind of technical expertise we find with partners, use case partners that we make partnerships.
How's the response been as you've been showing this off and working on it for the past year?
Pardon?
So how has the response been? What have people have people been into this thing? Because I mean, to me, this is like totally new and like out there.
It's amazing. So all this experience in Rare Bloom, actually, this is, I think, our first big conference.
All right.
In Cardano space.
Yeah.
And it's really wonderful how energizing it is, and we got a lot of contacts, and I think we'll have quite a bit of follow-up. Because we want to get those contacts very deep technical and start collaborating and start figuring out how we can connect to different projects within the community and build use case partnerships, or maybe partnerships.
How did you get involved with this project?
So we met all our co-founders that I mentioned. We met in 2014 in a place called Global Brain Institute in Brussels. So in academia, and we were all doing, Ben was doing, I think Singularity was not yet there, but we met in academia.
Yeah.
In academia, and that was mostly related to the research of global brain, which is a concept. Actually, Ben was doing that for already 25 years before we met. It's a concept of intelligent network of humans and machines. So basically, intelligent internet. Actually, it's when you're thinking about AGI, there are basically two. Let's say two ways to think about it.
And that's artificial general intelligence.
Exactly, artificial general intelligence.
Really think like a person, or better.
So, right. Yeah, you can put it. I mean, it's defined like that.
I'm trying to simplify it for viewers.
Fun. But what I wanted to say is that so what the idea of global brain kind of touches upon is that intelligence cannot be localized in one set, cannot be localized. Basically, it's always distributed or decentralized. So intelligence is more into how different components of, let's say, brain, which are neurons or maybe parts of brain, how do they interact with each other? So it's more like how synapses work rather than how neurons work themselves. Intelligence is not in the neuron. Intelligence is cooperation between different components. And that is kind of an idea that we're trying to bring forward, both with SingularityNet and VNet. So we are building protocols and APIs for the machines and algorithms to interact to each other. But how they will interact, it's for them to decide. And this is decentralization. And this is where intelligence comes from. Emerges. So that's, let's say, the conceptual idea behind. There are a bunch of other stuff. And this is where we started.
Wow. That's really cool. It sounds like a system that, I mean, it sounds like you're just taking technology to the next level. You're taking this integrated kind of network of global opportunity and adding a whole new element of AI to the mix.
Well, during the years, I think we had quite a few terms. One was marketplace of marketplaces. Another one was the network of networks. There is a concept of system of systems in complex science. And now the one we are mostly using is API of API. Because what we're building, well, a bunch of APIs allowing people to build on top of MONAD. And our goal is actually to, well, we are doing use cases now, let's say Cardano SPO use case or machine learning from, like we are connecting GPUs to MONAD in order to run machine learning. But eventually our goal is to become only producers of open APIs and protocols so that others could build even components of the platform itself on MONAD and monetize it through those protocols.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's just building complexity on top of complexity and allowing those earlier complexities to be accessed and utilized from a simpler interface. And who knows what gets built on top of that. I mean, this is like, you guys are, this is so early still in this process. Where do you imagine going forward, like decades? Where is this going to end up?
Well, it's kind of, well, probably I can say the direction. And so the direction is, as I said, the idea is to build intelligent network.
Yeah.
And intelligent, it's not that it will be intelligent by itself, but it connects to humans. So it's kind of building the network which combines human and a, let's say, machine intelligence, artificial, however you call it. And let's say the direction is to have this network global, spanning basically spanning the globe, and to build a sort of a new approach to the computational universe. So to be able to utilize resources, which we all have a bunch of computational resources in our pockets, on our desks, etc. To utilize all those computational resources to power the, let's say, because the way we do computation, the way we are building AI, it will influence the transitions of society, how the society, human society, will evolve. So we want to have a system which could, contribute to that.
Absolutely. And that's something that we were chatting with Ben yesterday about, was the I don't remember exactly the term, but it was like the gentle singularity or the positive singularity, this concept.
Beneficial singularity, I think.
It's beneficial, yeah. So there's a lot of good words that should be able to be applied to the singularity in a perfect world, right? So
and the aspect of decentralization here is what is beneficial actually is not for one person to decide. It's basically all the decentralized system decides what's beneficial, what's not, which is another layer. And in order to do that, the kind of engineering challenge here is that you're building a system without knowing exactly what it will do, because the community will decide.
It just needs to be flexible and ready to rock, huh?
Exactly.
That's really interesting. So you said this is your first kind of con event in this space. What do you guys have a booth?
Yeah, we have a booth, and we are running in I think an hour or so. We are running a couple of demos of our current solutions on Cardano. Current, let's say, projects that we are building on Cardano use case integrations, which is one of them is Cardano stake pool operator computing. We want to, we are building a solution so that stake pool operators could run their stake pools on the Nunet network, which means on the Nunet network, which means on the hardware which is provisioned by the compute providers via the Nunet network.
So you basically pay to run the stake pool based on the amount of computation that it used, rather than setting it up on your own hardware.
Stake pool operators pay through Nunet. We are middleman, how do you call it, to sort of provision this hardware and to find the optimal hardware for the stake pool to run. Yes. So and that is so the thing that we are bringing now to the conference is that we are decentralizing Cardano on hardware level by that project, because right now Cardano, most of the Cardano nodes, they run on basically big tech infrastructure, which is not decentralized on the hardware level, and you always can shut it down or have problems. So so we are decentralizing.
Something goes wrong.
It's a perfect use case for us, because basically we're building network for all the decentralized computing.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it fits right in there. Absolutely. So I heard that there was going to be a robot on stage singing yesterday. Did that happen?
Did that happen? So that's there is a spin-off of SingularityNet called Jam Galaxy. And they have a band where there is a robot, a lead vocalist, which is a robot, Desdemona, and then Ben is on. He also does vocals, and I think he does keyboard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, how was it? Did you see it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I wish that I had been there.
So I mean, the thing is that it does very nice stuff and improvisations, but you also can project what can it do in the future, because the robot is progressing. And then I believe that at a certain point you will be able to play. I mean, now there is one robot and 4 people playing an instrument. At a certain point, I think you can reverse that. You will be able to reverse that. You will have 4 robots and then 1 person.
And the one person will be running around twisting knobs.
No, not twisting. They will communicate to each other. They will improvise themselves. They will play.
Pretty cool.
They will do the music themselves.
Looking forward to the DJs of the future who get up there. You know, they're usually just got their turntables and whatnot, but imagine if they also had a live band of robots that was moving along with them. Oh man. The future. The future is going to be crazy. It's crazy now. And you guys are really pushing the envelope and bringing us towards these exciting new futures. I think that your project sounds really cool, really needed, very exciting. Thank you for chatting with me about this.
Thank you. Just a start.
I'm so excited to get a little peek at Rare Bloom, even though I'm not able to get there. I did cNFTCon, but we had to go home. Now I'm home.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Actually, we are building solutions for evolvable NFTs. To basically put a reputation system on top of Nunet, contributions of people to Nunet platform, and to do this via, to register them via evolvable NFTs, so that evolvable means that the data on NFTs will evolve based on activity on the platform. So this is some kind of solution that we are designing, integrated to the platform.
Yeah, I mean, all these cool new things, and everyone's coming at NFTs from a different angle, and it feels like a lot of different people I chat with have they're like, we're working on this thing for a type of NFT. What? That's amazing. Yeah, well, and I hear that so
what we're trying to do, we are trying to bridge all the space, crypto space, into kind of a real economy through computation.
Let's do it. That sounds awesome. So have you did you make it to cNFTCon at all, or are you at the Blooms?
No, I'm just here.
Just Bloom. Okay, cool. From what I understand, it's kind of a smaller setup, a lot more intimate. Have you had good chance to, have some good conversations out there?
Absolutely, yeah. But this is like Rare Bloom for us is more to the target. Because we are, let's say, when we were saying we are building the solution with NFTs,
Yeah.
basically we are looking for partners. We're not doing it ourselves. It's not our core product. We are connecting to other platforms in the space so that we can utilize the knowledge. We don't want to build ourselves everything.
Yeah, you don't need to. Exactly. We should be, because that's just part of it, is decentralizing development in a way. If you've got all these different people working on different stuff, why not just link up and go forward together rather than developing it yourself on the side. Yeah, well, that's great. All right. Well, I think that's all the questions I've got prepped for you here. Do you have any final words here for this interview?
Not really. I think we can just carry on with all those questions, and there always something to say. But I think maybe the final thing is, as I just said, we are looking for partnerships and we're looking for discussion, deep technical discussions and conceptual discussions with the space, with specific projects, where we can sort of find touch points and to delve deeper and to build use cases, to build platform features that are useful for already existing projects. And maybe the most important for us is to get information, what's needed out there, so that we can build features which already can be utilized around it. Right? We are always welcome and searching for this kind of partnerships.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm really glad to be able to give you guys a little bit of a platform, even if it's just our little channel. We do have a question here from chat from JW who asks, is new net coding being done in Haskell?
No. So in that sense, we are language agnostic. So since actually the core product is API and protocol, which are basically protocol is a protocol, and then you have implementations on different languages. So we are using those implementations as SDKs for peer-to-peer protocol. We started with Python because it worked, but then we have a protocol implemented in the Python library of IPv8. Then we are switching to libp2p at a certain point pretty soon, and that it has implementation on Go. So we are rebuilding everything now, like most of our components on Go, which is compilable language, and we will do this. Basically, we are compiling them into binary. But in general, we are right, and we are off-chain. So we are not sort of married to any language. However, I mean, it's not that everything works for us. And there is another thing, since we are running AI-based generic computation algorithms, most people use Python, and we just have to adapt to that.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to. It sounds like everything y'all are doing is focused on adaptability and being able to integrate with other existing systems or softwares or ideas.
Yeah, I see that. But again, Golang is not something that we it's not a target. We're using, because it's also with programming languages, we're using things that communities use so that we can build on them.
Sure. Well, like I said,
the goal is to build evolvable systems.
Yes, that's great. I'm definitely picking that up. Well, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for chatting. I think this was a really fun interview. And honestly, I learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. So we're set. Is there another person ready to go? I know we had a list of guests. I don't know if there's somebody near you who's like, hey, I'm gonna.
All right.
All good? Okay. So we'll switch to the next one.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks.
This was really fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, we're going to amend the schedule slightly because we have Hosky wanting to mic grab in here. So we'll give those guys a second now.
Classic Hosky. I hope that it's the whole mascot that sits down in front of us here. cNFTnews, Chestnut NFT News. Now that's an interesting idea. Although the C is lowercase, so I think that means that it could stand for a lot of things. It could stand for Cardano NFTs. It could stand for collectible NFTs. You know, who knows? But maybe also Chestnut. Welcome.
How you doing, Trevor?
Hello.
How's it going?
Nice to have you here. So, I hear that you guys have a booth right next to Cardano Solution.
We sure do.
Yeah, how's that been going?
It's been great. A lot of activity. The whole event's going smooth.
What's the vibe over there?
A lot of excitement.
Yeah.
Everyone's ready to get rode.
Well, that's why they come to the Husky booth, right?
That's true.
So, what's Rare Bloom like compared to cNFTCon?
Rare Bloom is actually like a legitimate event, whereas cNFTCon was a bunch of DJs chilling to each other.
Okay, I can see that.
You know, a little shillorama.
Have you had a chance to do some shilling at Rare Bloom?
Always.
That's good. Now, is the mascot wandering around there?
Some say he's going to be around 2.
Ooh.
Maybe able to see him.
Maybe making an appearance. That's good.
Yeah. Maybe we go and fill up his doggy bowl, kick him out of bed.
Ah, yes, the doggy bowl. When doggy bowl part 2?
Soon. TM. Soon. Very soon.
Well, I'm ready for it. Let me know. I'll be lining up for the dog bowl. I was a big fan of the first one. Didn't get quite enough out of it, so I'm coming back with my scoop for some more Husky tokens.
I don't know if I'd admit that on stream.
You know, this is
okay.
There's a reason that I wear a disguise when I'm on the news, so I can throw some stuff out there. It never gets back to me. No one.
I was gonna say your hair looks fabulous today.
Thank you. Yeah, look how shiny it is. Woo! Yeah, you got some nice looking locks yourself there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's easy to keep your hair good when you have zeros.
So what are you showing off at Bloom?
We are shilling cash grab NFTs, worthless tokens, and insults.
Do you have any insults that you can share for us here?
Well, if you pulled from the doggy bowl, you're an idiot. If you buy NFTs and you're hoping they pump, you're probably an idiot.
Good.
If you own governance tokens and you think they're going to govern something, probably don't.
Okay, so some decent insults there.
Yeah, shots fired. It's okay.
You've alienated half of our audience. That's generally what we try to do on this show whenever possible. So, right in line.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay, how about a little more serious, though? Lessons learned. What will you do differently next year at either of these events?
That's a great question. Probably bring more shirts.
Oh, yeah?
Bring more free stuff, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Everybody loves free stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. Get a t-shirt cannon next year.
And then shoot them directly at people.
You could get Charles when he's on stage doing his intro thing. You'd be like, heads up, his security guys would dive in front of it.
That's a great idea. I'd love to get kicked out right now.
Oh, shit. That's great. So, you get into that lazy river? I heard there's a lazy river.
I forgot my swim trunks.
Ooh,
I'm worried if I went al dente, that might be another kicked out.
Might be a good way. Wrap yourself with a Husky shirt as a loincloth.
I'll get out of here some way.
Absolutely. So anything crazy going on there? I mean, I'm not there. So what's the most shocking thing that's happened at Bloom?
Well, some say that Husky token escorted Dumpling onto stage.
Ooh, all right.
Some say that Charles was walking around in a drug rug.
A drug rug?
So he could fit in with the common folk.
Okay. What's the drug rug?
You're gonna have to Google that one.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up right now.
That's the poncho, the hippie.
Oh
yeah.
I've seen it. I didn't know the term. Let me just pop this up so everybody gets a little picture.
Yes, exactly. The Clint Eastwood outfit.
There you go. So classic drug rug.
Yes. Fitting in with the common folk. I am not a billionaire.
Yeah. Well, the drug regs, they've got a lot of pockets. You can probably fit a lot of money in those pockets. I wonder if Charles
can.
is bulging with cash or ADA tokens even. I'd like to see some physical ADA tokens. When is that coming?
Physical ADA tokens.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have to ask someone smarter.
There's nobody.
I'm an idiot.
There's nobody smarter around, unfortunately. We're stuck with you. Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
It's not ideal, but that's the situation.
I'm sorry to hear that.
All right. So, what's your plan for a robot apocalypse?
Oh, a robot apocalypse. Hopefully they make coffee, and they deliver it to my room, and they accept that I am, as an idiot, not a threat.
Okay.
That's a good one. Yeah, I think you got me stumped there. I'll probably be dead, and that's okay,
Yeah, I mean, probably most of us.
I mean, if it's an apocalypse, that normally means we're all gone. Unless I'm a robot. I could be a robot.
You might get assimilated, or would you volunteer to become a Cyberman?
Oh, totally. Like the Borg? Yeah.
The Borg or the cyber guys from Doctor Who. Those robots.
That's
they
true.
Assimilate
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I'm ready.
They were the original assimilators, I think.
I'm ready. Hopefully they support decentralization.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's the question we've been throwing at some people here and there. The real question was, would you prefer to be in a robot apocalypse or a zombie apocalypse?
Absolutely zombie. With 100% zombie. They're dumb, I could probably outrun them.
I have to agree with that. Robots will just kill everybody.
They're too efficient. They're way too efficient. Like, eventually the zombies will decay, fall apart. You would hope.
Maybe.
I mean, they're still organic based.
Apocalypse you're in, you might be in a Resident Evil kind of thing where they're like mutating and getting crazier over time instead of worse.
Now you're throwing a curveball at me. I hadn't anticipated that. That could be different. Well, now let's remember, robots, if they're artificial intelligence, they will upgrade themselves, become less idiotic.
That's true.
You would imagine.
So it seems like there's a potential of escalation on both fronts, which is probably why it's an apocalypse.
Exactly, that would be an apocalypse. I think all the zombie movies have kind of gotten us ready, So I'm gonna go with zombie. I'm still feeling very confident in that answer.
Yeah. You have a chance.
Nice.
All right, cool.
So, would you like me to shill anything?
Yeah. I'd like you to shill the cNFTnews, actually.
cNFTnews. It's a great place. I mean, you should get your news here. I would prefer if we dropped the C, but, that's okay.
It's a small C. It can stand for lots of things. Maybe it stands for
Cardania,
for example.
Cardania?
Or up on the wall here.
Yeah, that's true. That's okay.
Cardano, collectible.
Cancerous. Carcinogenic.
Chestnut, which is one of our...
chestnut, now we're talking.
Chat here we're throwing out there. AW, yeah. Chestnut, NFT News.
Don't worry, you can keep it. We won't drop you. You can be cNFTnews.
Okay.
Cantankerous. Thank you, Alyssa. That is a great word. SAT points to Alyssa.
Yeah, Alyssa is she's participating. She would much rather be on screen here with us, but she is bedridden with COVID.
Oh, Alyssa, I hope you get well soon.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem to be going really bad. Seems to be okay. So, we're doing okay. She's isolating.
Get well soon.
Exactly.
And we miss you.
Great swag y'all had. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Get all them shirts out there. You guys handing out those little cards that had... I don't have one near me.
We've got cards with seed phrases on them because we were hoping to fill people's wallets with more poop.
Yeah, I don't have it nearby. I'd show it off.
I'll get you more. Don't worry. We'll send you some out.
Yeah, we got them.
Everyone loves poop.
And then, of course, on stage during the costume contest at cNFTCon, we had a really exciting reveal of. Did
you like those moves?
Yeah, getting up there,
nice.
Making it happen. Ghost Chain turns into Husky mascot.
We invaded Charles's
ask me anything. Hosky just had to come out and introduce himself, give him a big old Charles bear hug.
Oh, good. That's good. Charles needs to be kept on his toes a little bit. He needs to never know when a giant mascot is going to show up.
Is coming to give him a big bear hug.
Exactly. Charles loves Hosky. Actually, Alyssa and I have been calling Charles Chosky.
Chosky?
We got Chosky.
I like that.
I like that. Almost 100% accurate.
cNFTnews. I like this. Okay.
You want to just say Chosk? Right. That's okay. The
Chosky.
Chosk, maybe.
The Chosk. Charles Choskinson.
Chosk. That's right. So
I love it.
If we ever get Charles dressed up in that outfit, then that would be true Chosky.
Well, some say that was Charles in there, and that Charles is actually.
It wasn't.
He may have cloned himself. I'm just saying.
That's right.
He's got the money. Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah. Why not make a bunch of himself?
What are you gonna do with all that money besides clone yourself?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else that you can do, really. You should get a mini.
Oh.
I would like to see that.
A little mini Hosky. A little mini Chosky.
Mini Chosky.
I'm gonna write that down because we need to do that one.
Yeah, definitely. Oh shit. Well, anybody else? Anybody else there to talk to? Because I'm kind of getting tired of this.
I'm tired of looking at you too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Just go on now.
Later, Mini Chosk.
We're done now.
What if the cNFT news stands for comprehensive NFT news?
Ooh, comprehensive.
Right? I need to shoot my ear there.
I know. It's the. All right, JoJo. So we have a slight change. We have JoJo instead of Luisa. JoJo is the one with the hippo tattoo from JPEG Store.
The guy with the hippo tattoo.
There you go.
I hope we get to see it.
Just put him on. Your mic is right.
Hello.
Hello. How are we doing?
All right, doing very well. I understand that you've got a tattoo on your butt that looks like a hippo, and that you're going to show it to us.
It is on my leg. I would show it to you guys, but it's under a second skin at the moment, so it's not very pretty. But there's a picture.
We want to see the butt one.
Oh, the butt one, yeah. Can't do that here. It's too many people. We're in public.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sitting down and chatting with us. So JPEG Store, you guys have a setup at Rare Bloom? You got a booth?
We do have a booth here at Rare Bloom. Decided to come out. We were at cNFTCon in Vegas last weekend, supporting the NFT community. And now we're here. It's interesting because it's a lot of a different vibe, than the NFT conference. There's some people that are in the ADA space that don't even know what JPEG Store is, or they're not into NFTs. So it's been great to be able to talk to some of those people and sort of show them what we're about. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So what's JPEG showing off at the con or at the event?
So we're mostly just giving away free merch. We got some nice T-shirts.
Ooh. Yes, there he
with
is.
The hippo. It says Rare Bloom here on the bottom. So
all right.
Some nice commemorative shirts for the con. And then we're really just hanging out, talking to the community, trying to meet people, build relationships in person.
Yeah. That seems like the thing to do. That's really cool. So there's lots of folks in there from outside of the NFT realm. Would you call this an NFT centric meetup? Are NFTs like half of it? What percentage are NFTs?
I would say less than half, so probably 30%. I wouldn't say it's NFT centric, it's more Cardano centric, just general. There's a lot of DeFi projects, but there are a solid amount of NFT projects as well.
I'm glad that you guys are there, repping our little corner of this ecosystem. So you've been checking out some DeFi projects out there then?
Let's see, Vi Finance is out here. There's DeFi, I forgot the name, but it was really good. They have a dashboard where you can track all your DeFi stuff. I was trying to look at their name on the booth, but I can't see it from here. But it's pretty cool. Oh, DeFi Yield, that's what it's called. Sorry. That's another DeFi project here. It's like a dashboard. You can track all your DeFi farming and all that kind of stuff. You can look for opportunities. So I thought that was a pretty cool project.
But I heard that Cardano is a ghost chain and it's all vaporware.
Yeah. No, there's actually no one here. I'm making this all up. I'm just here by myself.
Oh man. So yeah, we're loving JPEG Store. Obviously, we're always using it. It's taken over the marketplace. How do you guys plan on holding on to this massive market share that you've picked up?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're really trying to empower creators to come into the Cardano community. We sort of think that's where a lot of the value lies in the NFT space. Obviously, you need to cater to the traders and stuff like that, but bringing in new creators that are outside of the NFT space and stuff like that, I think could do a lot to bring a new audience in to not only hold our market share, but also increase the total market in the space. So hopefully, keeping focused on the creators and on the community and the values that sort of got us here will push us forward in the future. Obviously there's competition in the space, but we also like the competition because it pushes us forward, makes us think about new things. Hopefully we can keep our market position, but really we're just trying to push the whole NFT space forward on Cardano. So as long as that happens, I think mission accomplished. All
right. And you do have your creator launchpad where you can actually mint through JPEG Store. I use that with the Drunken Dragon mint, and it was very smooth. How does one get involved in that aspect of it if you have a project that you want to bring to the JPEG Store like that?
So if you have a project, you could probably reach out to us on Twitter at JPEG Store List would probably be the best account to reach out to us to sort of discuss anything project related, setting up a mint. If you have issues with current projects that exist on the store, all that kind of stuff, probably want to reach out to us there. Or you could always hit us up on our Discord, obviously, if you're in our Discord server. Reach out in any of the rooms and someone will come back to you and point you in the right direction of who you want to talk to.
All right, awesome. And is that basically just open to anybody, all comers, or do you have like a process of narrowing down who you're going to be bringing to the platform?
Yeah, so right now we're working on improving our minting platform, making things more automated so that we can sort of cater to more projects as well. But some of the process is still a little bit manual, making sure all the metadata is correct and all that stuff. We want to make sure that the projects have a good experience minting. Yeah. So we can't necessarily take every single project that wants to mint, but hopefully over time we're just going to be doing more and more mints. So reach out to us.
Yeah, and this is the beginning of this journey for y'all as well. I know the Drunken Dragon thing was just a month ago or something?
Yeah, something like that. It was a few weeks ago, maybe a month, something like that. We had a couple test mints also. We minted a couple of chunky hippos also. We did a little test mint with our community.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, cool. Well, Alyssa had some questions here from chat. She's upstairs in bed with COVID, but she's still interviewing. So,
awesome.
What have you learned since being here, if you've had time to learn anything at all? Any new knowledge?
Oh, man. I've learned so much since joining JPEG Store. I was already involved in the Cardano community a bit, but I was not very much in the NFT space, and I was just looking for a way to get involved directly with Cardano. And a friend of mine was working at JPEG Store, and so he introduced me, and I was a little bit skeptical about the NFT space in general. And since I came in, I'm fully baptized now in the NFT space. I love it. I think it's amazing how it brings a lot of people that are not necessarily, I guess, traditionally into crypto and stuff, into the space. It does a lot for the culture of the ecosystem and stuff too. So I'm having a great time. I've learned, I don't know, so many things. I couldn't pick one right now, but and met a bunch of great people. So it's been fantastic.
That's so great. Yeah, it's a crazy space to get into. Once you immerse yourself, it's like jumping in a river and you're just kind of swept away.
Yeah, I'm committed. I got that hippo tattoo. That's right. So fully in it.
Yes. So you're getting in. You transitioned from outside of NFTs and being a little bit skeptical. What were the what were the misgivings you had, and how were those resolved about NFTs?
Yeah, so I think I didn't really understand or see the value in it. Maybe I've never been much of a collectibles guy. I never really had collectible cards or stuff like that. And I sort of see a lot of the NFT space in that way, or doing collectibles. But coming into the space and seeing like the communities that are growing out of it, and like how much people are actually like really invested in these projects, and how a lot of people are actually really into it for like the art and all those things. Basically all the things that, you know, it seems like someone's trying to convince you of something when you're outside of the space, you know, like they're trying to sell you something. And you're just like, yeah, I'm sure like the art is great and stuff, but I don't know. But once you meet the people and you're in the communities and you're in the Discords, you see that there's like more to it. And obviously it's a young space, so everyone's trying to figure out new things and how do we bring more utility into this space and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's just, it's an interesting space. I didn't give it enough credit for what was going on in the NFT space, I think, you know?
Yeah, the culture.
It seemed like more of like a meme culture, just throw out some JPEGs and call it a day. And there's a little bit of that, which is also good, you know? We have to have fun too.
Just the surface, right?
Exactly, just the surface.
Yeah, you got to delve in pretty deep to see what's really going on. Well, I'm glad that you did. Glad that you're here with us. Let's see. Alyssa is clarifying her question. She wants to know what you've learned or what's been very memorable at Bloom specifically.
At Bloom, I would say my most memorable experience here was getting to talk to both Charles Hoskinson and Ben Goertzel and shake their hands and introduce myself.
Right.
That was great. I felt like a fanboy a little bit. It was amazing. You know, I feel like I've seen them on YouTube for a few years, so that was for me the most memorable part for sure.
I had a chance yesterday to sit down with Ben and interview him. He's got a lot to say.
Yeah.
And, I got to ask him about AI art, which is something that I'm kind of getting involved in more and more nowadays. And so cool to get some real perspectives that way. Haven't had a chance to speak with Charles yet. Missed him at cNFTCon. Missed him yesterday at this thing. We'll get
It'll happen. It'll happen eventually.
That's good. So being at cons. Oh, let me wait.
Sorry, I just had to turn the FOMO hat around because.
Oh, there it is.
Because Alyssa's got FOMO AF. So.
Hell yeah. So being at cons and events like this is kind of a new thing for, I don't know, almost everybody in this space. What have you learned? You know, what would you maybe do differently? This is a question I'm asking pretty much everybody.
Do differently, like at the con?
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, if you came back next year or the year after or whatever, you know, what lessons are you going to be taking with you and maybe improving your setup, your scheduling, whatever?
Yeah, I think I'd maybe be a little bit more prepared to know like what talks are going on when. I was kind of winging it, so you know, I did more of the sort of roaming around, meeting people, hanging out at our booth, and I think I would like to, you know, maybe pick out a few spots of talks that I find are very interesting and make sure that I make it to those talks, and have someone else at the booth while I'm there, you know, or something like that.
I'd agree with that. That makes sense. And especially at cNFTCon, there wasn't a lot of information out there. It was very.
Yeah.
So I think they're also going to try and make that info more available next year and in the future. Okay, so you said that you were in the Cardano space, and then you got into NFTs. How did you get into the Cardano space?
Sorry, my hair's all over the place.
You're looking good.
A little crazy. Thanks, man. 1 minute. Got you. What got me into Cardano space?
Yeah.
So actually, I was in the cryptocurrency space in general, starting in around like 2018 or something like that. And one of my good friends, the one that actually brought me into JPEG Store, Lucas, he doesn't work with us anymore, unfortunately. He's over at the Cardano Foundation doing some open source work. So
pretty cool.
Awesome for him. But yeah, he's super functional programming nerd, loves anything functional programming, has like a Lambda tattooed on his finger, you know, so fully committed to the functional programming. And when he saw blockchain that was like built in Haskell first and everything, he was fully on board. He was a sort of crypto skeptic when we first started kind of onboarding him into the crypto world. And then once he found the Haskell project, he was just fully in it. And it took him about a year or so to convince me that it was worth taking a look at. And once I started, you know, I just started watching so many videos of like Charles, and there's so much content and like so much there that I was just like, yeah, this is exactly the project for me. And having been in the software world, you know, the sort of slow, methodical approach resonated with me for something that
Yeah.
you're going to like invest your money into, because having worked in a bunch of companies where you're building software, you know how quickly the software kind of deteriorates if you're not paying attention to those sorts of things. So,
And on a big financial backbone, decentralized system like this, well,
yeah,
we've
you don't
seen what
want
happens
that.
when you do other ways. You get
Exactly.
Solana. I'm
Yes.
kidding, kind of. Yeah, so I'm really glad that we had a chance to chat here. I heard that you got the 1 minute warning, so I think we're just about coming to the end of our
Yeah. Thanks for
segment.
having me. Sorry that you guys couldn't meet the wonderful illustrator behind the hippo, but I hope this was a good combo.
There will be
And I-
more conversations in the future, and we'd love to get you guys on the news, or JPEG, or some representative. We haven't had an official news appearance from y'all, so we'd love to.
Absolutely. We'll get one of the people that are better at talking than I am, and
I
we'll
don't know if
have
that's
them
going
do
to
the
be
official.
that's going to be possible. You pretty much nailed it today.
Thank you. And HippoTat there's a picture of it actually on the JPEG Store Twitter if you want to see it. And once it's completely healed, probably later today, I will take another picture of it.
Okay, so I'm going to pull that up right now, and
Awesome.
while we do this transition, so we can show the people.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
All right, guys. Next, we have Scott from Old Tales. He has the cool woodcut NFT project that went live today. And then after that, we'll do the clays. So here's Scott.
All right. Let's do it.
Put it on there. They're right there. When you sit down, you'll see them. There's Trevor and Alyssa, and your mic
Hi.
is right next to you.
Hey, Trevor.
Yes.
How you
Or
doing?
Scott Chestnut as my news persona. Name.
Excuse me, Mr. Chestnut. Excuse me.
Oh, thank you very much. So thank you for sitting down with us. Looks like we're frozen right now, but I'm sure we'll see a little bit more of you here once the internet catches up.
Okay.
So I understand that you have an amazing project out there. Some really cool wood. Yeah, tell me about it. I've never even heard of it, so I would love to.
Yeah, the woodcuts. Well, thank you so much for having us on. Today is our premiere, actually, at the Rare Bloom here in Denver. We've been working on this project for maybe 2.5 years now, quite a while. We've developed our art completely from scratch, so there's been no sort of inspirational images or anything like that. Yeah, apart from books from the 1600s and the 1500s. So this is our main inspiration. It's the woodcut style of art that was popular kind of several hundred years ago.
Yeah. So can I pull up an example of your work? Is there a website?
Yeah, so you can go to old-tales.com. Yeah.
Look.
Oldtales.com.
This is some classic tarot looking stuff here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So the wood is carved, and then ink is applied to it, and then a print is made.
Yeah. So actually, because of the digital age, we have developed these as digital woodcuts. So we start with a pencil sketch, and the pencil sketch is based on the scene that I direct, actually. And our project is a gigantic story of a village in northwest England set in the year 1490. So it's a sort of a historically accurate fiction, if you like. And it's also based on the tarot, the tarot ethos. And because tarot cards also come from the 1500s, and it was a game developed to help people see things from different perspectives and think of things that they may not have otherwise thought of if they weren't prompted. So, we explored woodcut art and we explored tarot, and then we decided to bring them together. And actually, I can show you if you like. We have a tarot deck just here.
Ooh, 100%, please.
Yeah. So this is what we've developed, So let me open it up and I'll give you a look. So there's 78 cards in a tarot deck.
Mm-hmm. So you got the full deck.
And so this is, the full deck, sort of card by card. I'll just give you a quick look at just a few here.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could. Is it shuffled? Could you pull a card for us?
Yeah, can we pull a card? So, okay, we'll quickly do a shuffle here. Here we go.
Yeah, we actually pull cards for people on the news sometimes.
Really? Okay.
So this would be a really good crossover.
Okay, I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to sort of go through these cards just here, and then you can tell me when to stop, and I'll pull one out. Here we go.
Okay.
Where is it? Yeah. All right.
Okay, there.
Okay, stop. All right. So it's going to be this one.
What do we got?
Here we go. Let's check it out.
This is the news team's tarot card.
Actually, this is a complete coincidence. Yeah, this is our sort of flagship card for the story of our deck. Yeah, you can see. Can I get close enough?
Yeah,
see
beautiful.
There's like a little snake.
Uh-huh.
Just here. Yeah. So this lady here, she's looking a little sick. She's just been bitten by the snake.
Ooh.
Yeah, in the story, because in the story within our tarot deck, there's this young lady who sells fruit at the fruit market, but she also has her own apple trees, and on this day the apple trees have they're ripe and they're ready to pick, and so she picks them with her husband, and she doesn't need to buy from the wholesaler who sells apples usually, and the wholesaler gets very angry with her and puts a curse on her, and she gets bitten by this snake here.
Just because she didn't buy his shit? Damn.
Yeah, I know. It's the Middle Ages, right? It was a little tough back then. And so this guy here rescues her, and he puts her on the cart here, and puts her, and the donkey takes her to see this old woman who lives in the enchanted forest. And the old woman knows about herbal healing, and so she goes out at nighttime. I think I've got this card here. I'll show you this one as well.
Cool.
Here it is, just here. The old lady goes out in the middle of the night and gets the herbs that are needed to heal the snake bite.
So there's an order to these cards.
Yeah, so you can use them as a normal tarot deck, or you can sort of explore the story within our deck as well. Yeah, you could do that.
And did you organize the story or the sequence of cards? Is that based on the card numbering? Because I know there's a standard sequence as well, or is it just?
Yeah, no. Well, what I really wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that the ethos or the spirit of tarot was preserved, and so I thought if I just put it from start to finish, that's going to jeopardize that. So I thought more deeply about each card and its meaning and what our pictures were, and then which card would be sort of most suitable for each picture, and so it's not in a chronological order, but if you sort of follow our project in the coming weeks and months, we're going to drop those little secrets out for the community, and then they can start putting them together and maybe even experimenting with their own deviations on that story. It should be fun, I think.
Well, we started getting into tarot down in New Orleans. Alyssa and I, Alyssa's from New Orleans, and I was there for 10 years, and we did walking tours. We were in the French Quarter all the time. Right out in front of St. Louis Cathedral, there are tables and tables and tables of people reading tarot, and it's really, how did you find tarot yourself?
Well, I started actually because I really love the guitar. I play guitar and whatnot. And I was sort of wondering how does someone think about building an acoustic guitar? So I started reading back in time, back to the 1600s about instruments that were similar to the guitar but a little different, like the citharan and the lute and other instruments. And while reading those old books, I sort of stumbled across this sort of time before science, where people were using herbs to heal and people were very superstitious. So that's kind of how I stumbled onto tarot. I realized that tarot is a sort of technology, maybe technology from the 1500s and 1600s, and so I thought maybe I could take these old woodcuts that I'm looking at, these old pictures from these old books, and then take the technology of tarot and bring that into the blockchain era. And I think maybe we can take a really deep dive on Socratic thinking and being prompted to think from perspectives that you might not have otherwise thought about on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, tarot. I guess earlier in my life, I was just like, obviously it's all bullshit. It's not real. You can't predict the future this way, whatever. But it's not really. I've come to understand more deeply that it's not really about that at all. It's more about perspective, honestly. You look at these cards and they give you a different way to look at or relate to things that are happening in your life, just because it's a prompt to get you going. And of course, who knows, there may be some mystical significance as well. Who can say? But it's a valuable practice even without any mysticism.
Yeah, look, I think you're right. And part of me also thinks that if you go to the market on the weekend and someone wants to charge you $30 to read your tarot, that's like entertainment.
Sure.
You're not going to take a really deep dive and discover some of those more spiritual questions that might be in there. I also want to make sure that anyone who gets involved with our project and does a reading or something, make sure you remember that whoever does your reading, you need to really trust them, and they should never be allowed to see bad things in your future, or because it's not about predicting the future, it's about stimulating your thinking and your self-reflection.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think it's important. Yeah.
I wanted to circle back to the chariot. I've looked it up, and it says control, willpower, success, action, and determination.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Good draw.
It's a great one, especially if you're in the blockchain space and you're building a project or you're enthusiastic about another project that you follow. Determination, having the courage to just keep going. They're good traits, right? They're good things. So.
Absolutely, yeah. So, okay. Now, are these cNFTs? Is there a drop coming?
Okay, so our friends, Nano Frames, they have opened up our display here at Rare Bloom today. Yesterday, they were a little behind because the logistics and the difficulties of doing these type of new blockchain things. So it's open today, but because we're a day behind, we thought, let's open the drop today.
Oh, really?
So this is actually an exclusive on the channel here.
Yeah.
Our drop is open. Yeah, we opened it up. We opened it up this morning. Yeah, because it's time. Yeah.
Looking at your website and seeing this true. I see that it's 39 ADA for a mint.
It should be true, yeah. 39 ADA a piece.
And that's just like pulling a tarot card right there. Minting.
And that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
That's really exciting. Okay, let me just put my eternal up here. Gonna have to mint one of these before they're gone. Yeah, that's very cool.
Goodness! Oh, that's so cool. Look, I'm getting the wind up here in the studio. So look, I got to say thank you so much for having me on the channel. I hope everyone enjoys our project. And look, if you got questions or you want to be enthusiastic, jump on our website, jump on our Twitter, Old Tales NFT, and also come to our Telegram. Yeah, and we can have a chat.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us here.
Thanks a lot. All right, see you guys.
All right, excellent. Don't forget your jacket.
Thank you, sir.
Your jacket's back there.
All right. Well, another fine interview.
Oh, sorry. So, next we have Lena from Clay's.
Hey.
Hello.
There you go, and you'll see Trevor and Alyssa.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing?
Welcome to our little box.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm here, Justice. How you doing?
Yeah, doing so well. Really glad to be getting a taste of Rare Bloom here and get a chance to chat with everyone. Alyssa,
Yeah,
of course,
so how come you guys couldn't come?
Oh, well, Alyssa is now 5 weeks
pregnant?
away from giving birth, so
That is That's a really bad excuse. I deserve better. How are you guys doing then? So how did you find cNFTCon? Did you have a good time?
Oh, it was great. We had a lot of fun. Obviously, we had to take it slow due to our circumstance. We had to take some breaks here and there. But, I think that was
Unforgivable.
probably better for our mental health anyways.
Probably, yeah. I would have loved to have been just 5 weeks away from giving birth, so I could have had a couple more breaks.
Exactly. Yeah, you'd say, well, I'm just going to leave for a little bit. But right now, yeah, Alyssa's actually sick with COVID. She picked it up on the way home, I think, at the airport. So
At the airport, really? Probably at the event.
Or, well, maybe at the event. Who can say? Well, it's just 3 days later, symptoms. We're trying to figure it out. But she is here in chat. You can see she's chanting your name here.
Yep. Hey, Alyssa. Hope you feel better.
Absolutely. I know the first time we really get to sit down and talk. Hello.
Hey.
So how's Bloom going?
Bloom is going good. It's been a really different kind of vibe to cNFTCon, but in a way it's been really good because we've got to meet people from lots of different kind of industries and same industry but different kind of areas. We've had some really good meetings with people that are quite exciting for Play Nation. We had Champ here obviously with us, Champ at DC, Cordell, who joined us from LA, and we were able to do a panel yesterday with him, and we also got to hang out with Charles briefly. And so it's kind of different in that sense. We've been kind of doing more networking, whereas at cNFTCon it was way more like, hey, good to finally meet you, it's people we know.
Right?
But yeah, it's been good.
I do wish that we'd been able to make it to Bloom, but we've got many years ahead of us. It's the beginning of a journey that we're all embarking on together here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what is it about Cardano that you think is attracting all this attention and all these people at Bloom?
Well, there's so much going on here. So like when I'm looking around the stream, it's full of some of the most intelligent, innovative, and just excited people that I'm never normally in a room with people like this, And so when you come and there's this buzz, and that buzz is happening on Cardano, it's hard to not want to get involved, in my opinion.
100%. Yeah, I mean, we had the opportunity to talk to a number of awesome people, even just through our little screen here. So I can't imagine what it's like being there and really bumping elbows.
Yeah, it's quite distracting because everyone's kind of still. Obviously, there's. I don't think I can turn you around. I'll get in trouble with that guy, but
no. A question about cNFTCon. How was your booth? How did it go? I didn't even really get a chance to see you except like one brief moment there.
So our booth was insane. I thought our booth was so good. Not to go too over the top, but basically we had such a large booth, right? Everybody did. So at cNFTCon, as we all know, there was a lot of space, and it meant that there was a lot of space. So our booth was 30 by 30, as a lot were, and it took a lot of planning for us to get that right in a way that we had this huge space that felt intimate and a way that we could, and still felt open. We didn't want to have walls up, so we kind of had these corners. We had the disco ball and the lights coming down, and we had some really good feedback from people. We ran, our booth was pretty busy most of the time as well. We even had a magic show, which was hilarious. And we were able to do masterclasses with both of our team members. So Joe, he did a kind of play creation course. And we also did an illustration course with Jika, where some of Joe's models that he made in kind of like this kind of pose, he made them. We brought them over from the UK. And then Jika taught people how to draw them as if they were life models. And I just thought it was like such a nice thing to do with the community, and we had kids getting involved as well, and it was just really nice to see people taking the minute to sit down and create. And so that's kind of, I felt like it was really good energy.
Absolutely, yeah. I saw a little bit of that, heard a little bit about it. It sounds like just a thing. You guys had a very great atmosphere in your booth. It's like a little house.
Thank you.
And I picked up a little bit of little souvenir here.
Oh, did you know? You used to play it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice one. we ended up giving some out yesterday, and I felt really bad because some people bought them in cNFTCon, and then Champ came by our booth and was just like chucking them out, and I was like, don't tell anyone. But
the rules change in between. You gotta
different law out here in Colorado. Something quite funny, which I'll share, but just for the interview, is that I think by association, kind of walking around with Champ, who obviously by association of being Snoop Dogg's son, a lot of people were giving us gifts, let's say, and I don't actually smoke, so And I'm not just saying that, but it's like kind of different in the UK. Everyone drinks, and people were just coming up to us like, "Here's a big gift," and it was hilarious. So I've been helping out some of the community guys out here.
Pretty funny.
So I had to dish it out. Honestly, like anyone needs anything. No, I'm just kidding.
That's gotta feel pretty good, having that kind of support and even recognition out there. That's
It's really nice. It's nice. It's nice to have a community that trusts you and that appreciates what you're doing. And I appreciate the community so much. So it's nice to have that kind of coming back, and you really get that energy when you're at events like this, and when you're at events like cNFTnews, and people are coming over and saying, "Hey, I love what you're doing," or like, "Well done on what you've done." It's nice to hear that, because you know, when you're in Discord and Twitter, you get a lot of like, "Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that?" But when you're in real life, people are a lot more real with you.
A lot nicer, yeah. And then back at cNFTCon, you had this crazy VR setup, which I unfortunately didn't have time to get involved in.
If Alyssa had done that, she may have given birth. It's like seriously scary.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw some video of you all running around. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was with Arcadia, who we're partnering with hopefully in the coming months, to bring basically VR sports like to the next level. They are doing some crazy stuff, and we want to be able to involve the K community in that.
Yeah, it's been really fun. I heard a lot of great reports of folks like doing that shot and being very out of breath. When you saw someone coming around and we were just like panting, you knew
it is actually a workout. Yeah, seriously hard work.
So obviously you guys are present at a lot of different events, and you're putting the word out there, and you're kind of representing the community. What would you do differently at next year's cNFTCon or Bloom? Because obviously having a booth is a whole new experience.
What would I do differently? It's difficult. I've seen cNFTCon, honestly. So the one thing I would say would be like, I would have loved to have been able to go around and see more booths, because I was quite stuck at our booth. Not stuck. I was having great conversations.
Of course.
Maybe I would. Stuck. So unless I can duplicate myself, it's going to be hard to change anything, because like honestly, I don't want to miss out on that time talking to the community. I did want to spend more time kind of chatting to other people like outside, so I wanted to go around and walk around. And I would say maybe I'll take a couple of ambassadors with me, take a couple of people that can kind of talk about the brand while I'm not there. But at the same time, people do want to talk to me as well, and they want to talk to Junes, they want to talk to Jika, Joe, and the rest of the team. So it's kind of hard to say what I'll do differently. We're definitely going to... Yeah, exactly. I would probably sleep more in the week leading up to the event. That would be my advice, going back in time.
I think last night was the first night I really got solid amount of sleep for like.
Yeah, I slept good last night. I keep like ditching the parties. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, and one other thing is that obviously we had to downscale our booth. For like, so obviously this event went, our booth is a ninth of the size, one ninth. So we literally had all this stuff, and we were like, but we've actually made it cozy again. It's been really good. Oh, did you hear we broke down on the way?
No, what happened?
We broke down in the Grand Canyon.
That's not bad. I mean, it's bad, but that's
not bad.
Place to break down.
Could have been awful. We were very fortunate. We had pulled over at some Navarro, I think, Navarro tribe. They were some people on the side of the road selling jewelry, and I just wanted to have a look. So we pulled in. There was like 3 little booths. Not booths. They were like a shack kind of thing, just a bit of wood. Sure. Yeah. Pulled over. I was having a look at the jewelry. Got this little ring that had some bears on for courage, and we got back in the car, and it was stuck in park. And it's an automatic, so there was nothing we could do. Luckily, one of these women at the booth knew a mechanic who lived 6 miles away. He came out and got us back on the road. But if we were a mile further along, we would have been super stuck.
That's very lucky. Wow. Yeah. Congratulations. I'm glad that you weren't prevented from making that journey. It's an important one. So you guys headed over from Vegas to Denver. Anything fun in between?
Yeah, we had a lovely little road trip it was myself, Izzy, Sammy, and Jika, and
wow,
it was like such a nice trip. We drove the whole way. We stopped off at the Grand Canyon and this little place called Salida, It was beautiful, and we went for amazing food, and we just had a real girls trip. Like, listened to really, really, really terrible music most of the trip, singing out the windows, that sort of stuff. And yeah, it was like a good bonding experience for the team as well.
Absolutely. Oh, so what is Clay up to these days? You know, what's on the horizon? What are you guys? What are you trying to pump right now?
What are we trying to do? So we're continuing with our development, obviously, of our Clay Nation game environment. We want to bring events to the space, but coming soon will be the music video for Bron and Bronny.
Yeah,
and
we've been waiting for that.
May or may not be released in the coming weeks.
Okay, and I've heard rumor that Charles might be twerking at a whiteboard.
I couldn't say. Alyssa just asked if we got to hang out with Jika before, and yeah, I've met Jika a lot of times. Jika's actually from my hometown, so I actually knew who she was for years and years and years before we worked together. I wanted her to illustrate a kid's book that I wrote, like probably 5 years ago, and that's how we first ever met. And then we got back in touch when I wanted her to work at Clay Nation. So I know her for a long time, yeah. I actually have to go, guys. I've got another. I'm really sorry because I want
another
to
engagement. No, I mean we're doing pretty quick interviews today. This has been really wonderful. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
All right. And when will I see you again?
Oh my goodness, that's a really good question. Well, we're gonna have a little baby pretty soon, so that'll.
Are you gonna have gonna come to the first birthday party?
Exactly. Yeah. Who knows? November.
I'll be there.
Maybe. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Good luck
All right,
with everything,
Thank you.
and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Great
Bye.
event. Bye.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Next, we're going to close out with Jeff from Genius Yield. So he's super excited to catch up with you guys too. So
Let's go.
Here you go. Your mic is right here.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
Good to see you. So it's been a year. I met you guys in New York for the Cardano Summit. Yep.
Yes. What a time! And things have changed, but things
sure
are also fairly similar in other ways. We're still.
Sure
I mean, this is the same wig, same jacket. We're still throwing pins at people.
There you go. Awesome.
But what have you been up to in this past year?
Just more of the same. Having meetups. I can't tell you how proud of the community I am lately too. It's been in the heart of everybody. We're really the foundation of this project. I think it's and despite it's so organic too. It's amazing.
It's grown because people want it to. It's not,
exactly.
It's not being forced. It's not being coerced. There's no money dangling. Well, there's a little bit, but not centralized, anyways.
Exactly. We're willing it into existence. It's awesome.
So what are you doing at Bloom?
So I'm really here just to check out the scene and make connections and meet the people who I've been talking to online forever. And I wanted to jump on the show to catch up with you guys would be to promote Genius Yield a little. I'm not with them in any official capacity, but they sponsored some of my meetups in New York City.
Great.
And so I just want to tell everybody a little bit about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a good move. Alyssa's here in chat. She's upstairs, sick with COVID, but she's here throwing comments. She said you look Colorado chic in that jacket.
There you go. Exactly. This is actually vintage. I got this in 1994, I think. So there's a reason.
It's holding up pretty well.
There you go. Exactly.
All right. Well, tell us about this project.
All right. So Genius Yield is a DeFi application that's about to be released, and it's a little different than the other DEX projects in that it has a huge focus on education and getting people who aren't familiar with DeFi into DeFi. So they're using AI to make it super simple for people to kind of figure out what their risk level is and to start kind of dipping their toe into the water, so to speak. So there's a lot of NFTs, Genius Yield NFTs that people can kind of look at as well that give you perks and bonuses, higher yield levels, that kind of stuff. And they're actually having, they also have something called the Genius X Accelerator. So it's an accelerator program. So they're helping projects get funding and bootstrapping different kinds of projects. And right now, people can delegate to the ISPOs. There's 4 pools: Genius 1, 2, 3, and Genius X. As Gens, Gens 1, 2 through 3. 4 and 5 are scam pools, so don't delegate to them. Yeah, unfortunately. But anyway, the projects. So right now they're having it's called a multi-pool ISO. So you're getting tokens for I think 5 different projects. There's Smart Places, Legedy, something called Outlaws Brawl, which is a game, the Reach Metaverse, and something we all love, which is Drunken Dragons. So you can get tokens for all those projects by delegating to these pools.
That's rad as hell. Yeah, it's so crazy to me that you just listed a whole thing, and I'm like, I only recognize one of them.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's insane. I mean, walking around this show, you see, and I think I'm relatively plugged into what's going on. But it's,
me too.
It's like, oh my God.
Turns out I'm not, right?
It's for reals. And you'd never know as a bear market walking around the show.
100%. Well, that's because the people here aren't, you got to decouple from price. I mean, please.
Exactly.
Obviously, we need ADA to be decent, so funding, blah, 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 but that's not the point. And I think we're seeing that a lot. We're hearing from that same sentiment from a lot of different folks. So glad to see that the mood is elevated, even if the price is not.
No, everybody's fired up to be here. It's amazing, and we're just getting started. We really are. There's so much coming down the pike. I just urge. I really feel like we are all kind of leaders in this space too. It's. I kind of felt like when I was flying out here, I kind of pinched myself, and I was, am I insane? Like is this one big dream? It's like, but we all have this passion to change things, and I think we're on the cusp of a new kind of evolution of how we interact with money and each other, and we're all on the
different experience.
We're on the cutting edge of it, and I'm really I couldn't feel more like I'm in the right place at the right time. So.
Oh yeah, and that's part of why it's so important that we keep the culture open and positive, and everything that it already is.
Absolutely.
Because it's kind of weird because there's all these other blockchains out there, and they've all got kind of their own vibe to them, right? And as we get more of this cross-chain interaction, at least in the NFT space, we're seeing people from Ethereum coming in, and they tend to have different ideas of how things should work. And there's this, I don't know, kind of sometimes a butting of heads, but usually just waves, kind of like where you see 2 different rivers coming together, right? They're still aligned, but eventually they merge, hopefully into something, good.
Yeah,
for
I agree.
everybody.
I think ideas are viral, or they can be, and I think our strain of virus is very powerful. It's hope, it's optimism, and I don't see that changing. It's compassion, absolutely true. Friendship, and as long as we stay true to those principles, we'll change the rest of everybody else. And we can all disagree on methods and whatever else. We can all have disagreements, but that's fine. But the heart of it, it's kind of inevitable. Yeah. We're too big. We've been through too much. It's been a long road since 2017.
Oh man, that's only 5 years.
Yeah, right. And so I think the people who are here, because a lot of the faces I see I've seen for 4 or 5 years. So there's this real core of people who are just ready to go, man, fired up.
And we're adding to it and bringing in more folks. Really good. Question from the chat here. Oside says, does Genius have NFTs to boost or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely they do. So there was a couple different kinds of NFTs. So Genius Yield and Genius X each have their own kinds of NFTs. And on Genius Yield, you can get some NFTs that will boost your staking rewards. So you can, once you get the Gens tokens, They were very clever about how they did their tokenomics, because you get, when you hold and stake your Genius tokens, you actually get a share of the profits or fees that are generated. So not only do you get a share of the profits, but there's also perks that come with, different learning levels, and you get all kinds of different incentives to kind of stake your tokens. So there's a real strong staking incentive mechanism. But yeah, so there are a set of NFTs that allow you to boost. So like the commons are 2%, all the way to the most rare, which is a 6% boost.
Really interesting way to do it. It's so crazy to see all these integrations between. NFTs are obviously fairly new to Cardano as far as the lifespan of Cardano, and staking has been around. So now we have this new intersection. This new technology is introduced. Suddenly there's utility and it's merging, and who knows what's coming in the future as more and more of these features are added.
I agree, and GeniusX has their own NFTs as well. So with those, you can actually earn the NFTs. So you would earn the NFTs for participating in the ISPOs. But if you stake your tokens, then you'll also earn NFTs going forward as well. So again, another incentive, and then you get a boost once it hits. And with GeniusX, when you hold their tokens, you get the ability to participate in token sales for projects that are bootstrapped by the project. So very cool.
Right.
And then
just having any NFT will give you kind of access to that.
Yeah. If you don't have an NFT now, you can obviously buy one on JPEG Store, of course, and jump in that way. But if you don't want to do that, if you get some GeniusX tokens and stake them on the platform once it goes live, after a couple months, you can start earning NFTs. And the longer you keep your coin staked, you'll earn progressively better NFTs.
Right. So I want to shift gears and ask you a little bit about the events that you've been a part of.
Sure.
Past,
yes.
Just tell me what is that like? What's going on out there?
So for people who don't know, I'm one of the guys who helps run the New York City meetups, Cardano meetups, and we've been pretty active. We try to have one, at least a couple a month. Sometimes once, 4 a month. Yeah, we have a member who's he's got a membership in the Classic Car Club, which is on the river on the west side. So we get to go there, hang out, check out all the cars, and talk about crypto and Cardano, and have a nice day by the river. So it's a lot of fun. So anybody who's in New York, please go to meetups.com and just punch in Cardano NYC in the search field, and you'll see us.
And how well attended are these events?
We have anywhere from a typical one, we get 6 to 10, and then we have some special ones. Gary Golden, who's one of my partners, has a space in Brooklyn. It's kind of like a storefront, so he does some after-school stuff for kids there. So we go in there, and that fits about 20, 30 people, and we have pizza parties and talk about stuff. And
sounds really fun.
We also had a kind of a celebration of the Fossil Hard Fork, and it corresponded with the big conference by Masari Mainnet. So there's a bunch of IOG people in town, and the World Mobile guys were in town. So that was a really fun week as well.
That's so cool. How long have you been running these?
I think we started in 2018. And it's been very aspirational. It's like we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and now we're at the point where we're actually doing things. And and I think this next year we're really going to focus on kind of trying to get developers on board and letting them know what's possible, and trying to tie into the Haskell community in New York City.
Yes, that was another question I had is, have you been able to bring in people from outside, either outside of Cardano or outside of crypto in general into the Cardano space through these meetups?
Yeah, we've had a little luck. So we had some big meetups there's an event every year called NYC NFT. And that's a lot of fun.
Last year was crazy, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Sky, they were featured.
Yeah. So we had a great party, two parties actually, and so you always get a lot of Cardano curious people who come over, and we we're just ourselves, and I think people.
Well, that's what we are, right?
Exactly. So we always get we do get a lot of converts when they come over and kind of say, "Oh wow, this is a good group." This is a lot of
I'm really
fun.
glad. I'm glad that you guys are out there and bringing in, spreading the message and being yourselves, and all. Maybe that's all it takes, Just being.
We're all just a tiny little bit of leadership, each one of us, and that's how we get it done.
Oh yeah.
So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with us. This is a really cool treat. Sorry we weren't able to make it to Rare Bloom in person.
No
but
problem.
If you reach out and touch the computer, I can feel you touching it. So, there it is. Oh, that feels good. Thanks.
Absolutely.
A little human contact.
I'm here. You're here in spirit. Trust me.
Awesome.
So
cool.
Hopefully I see you in person in the next 6, 8, 10 months.
Yeah, hopefully.
Somewhere.
Here's hoping. Exactly. Great. Well, I think we're going to close it off. We've done an hour and a half of interviews today, and that's been pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
So thank you. If you could pass me back to the Cardano Solution team, whoever it may be.
Okay. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you so much for talking.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Woo. Hour and a half. Pretty good.
All right, guys. I think we're wrapped.
All right. Great. All that's left is a little sign off, I think.
Oh, that's true. How was it? How was it for you guys? Everything good?
Perfect. What a great
Excellent. Time. The lights are strangely dimming in here.
I know.
They're going to murder us.
Shut it down. We were done with the show, so they're just.
Excellent. Nice.
All right, awesome. This has been incredible. We can't thank you enough. The Cardano Solution, and you personally, you've been really great. And if you ever want to get on the news at some point, we'd love to have you. If you'd love to work with us in some way, because you're extremely good at organizing things.
I don't have an issue helping you at all, but I mean, look, I'm not the guy to do TV. I'm super sexy on radio, but on TV, it kind of loses its magic. But
all you need is a little wig just like me, and you're good to go. We share a similar affliction up top here, but you can
maybe.
Actually, honestly, we have the same exact hairstyle.
I shave mine all down.
Yeah. I usually do, but I've been lazy since I got back from CNFT.
Nice. But yeah, it's been good. Like, any help you guys need, just reach out to us. That's one of the things we do. So try to put projects together.
Well, we really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. So sign off here for the cNFTnews. I'm Scott Chestnut.
And I'm Shane from the Cardano Solution.
Thanks for watching.